Well, Paul, that's 3 championship wins out of 3 at Pride Park Stadium. How are you feeling after that victory over Cardiff?
Yeah, exhausted like everybody else in the stadium, I think. I thought we played really well for about 75 minutes, and then, in fairness to Cardiff, they threw everything on, and we were tired at the end, obviously, and we went to a 5, and whenever called upon, Jacob helped us out, so I still don't think they had many shots on target. Their best chance, possibly, was Cash's header first half from the corner, but apart from that, I thought the lads were great. I was really pleased. I asked them to play with emotion today. Unfortunately, my uncle isn't well, so my mum was coming, but he's on his last legs, bless him. So he's a great guy in my upbringing. But I did tell the lads that, but it was about Sol today, and I loved him as a human being. He's a great footballer, a really positive guy. So I knew that dressing room would use that. So we asked the lads to play on the edge, and they gassed out, which is my favourite saying. And there's some really tired bodies in there, but winning football matches at any level is hard. You have to work harder than the opposition. You have to put your bodies on the line. And, I think a few of the players really emulated that today. I thought Jerry and Caden were excellent. Back line were good. And it's good to see Kenzo get another goal. I was really pleased for him. So I've literally round up the whole game for you.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Kenzo Houtmine, 2 goals in 2 for him. Tell me about the adjustments that he's made, if any, coming to the Championship, because he looks right at home now.
Yeah, well, in fairness, the biggest adjustment is he's a learner. He's been brought up in football. His dad's a football guy. You saw him last week walking around like James Bond. So it's good to have him over. But I think training with the group daily and the pace of training and how physical it might be in compared to Holland, that might be a bit disrespectful, but you learn by osmosis sometimes. We obviously showed the lads clips. I showed the 3 midfielders clips last week where they'd done some really good stuff, but some stuff I weren't so pleased on, and I just thought we had a bit more bite in the middle of the park today. So that's really pleasing, and for him to get 2 goals is great. In fairness, I mean, you interviewing him? No, okay, well, I'll tell you. So I showed him a 2003, I think it was, Match of the Day goals highlight reel in December. It was the best one you've ever seen. So I was begging the midfielders, they've got to shoot, they've got to add goals and attempts to their game because you can't just rely on the front 3. So, and in fairness, they all had a little pot shot first half, so I was like a proud father. But for him to score another goal, you've got to get in the box. That's the thing as a midfielder. Like, you can miss chances, that's fine, but you've got to give yourself the opportunity to score. And he did that today. And as a player, if you win 1-0 and you've scored the goal, you've cracked it. You are cracked it. You have a great weekend. So, really pleased. And I was pleased with a lot, disappointed with some things, obviously. But I think we limited a really good Cardiff team to very few chances.
You didn't have the engine of David Ozo for long spells of that second half. How much did losing him affect you, if at all, and how's he doing?
Yeah, I think he's obviously he's upset. I don't know if he's had that injury before. I think he's done his hamstring. It could be anything. I don't want to guess how severe it is, but he was quite upset. But young lads do get upset when they get injuries because they think the world's fallen out. So it's disappointing to lose him because he's obviously a massive part of our midfield. So, but in fairness, everyone just slots in. There's no drama. That sound awful on the side of the pitch, but it's just next man up. Like, you can't cry about it. Just let's see who can, and that's the joy of having a squad that everyone can compete. So, he'll hopefully it won't be too severe, but it might be a couple of weeks, and we might not see him this side of the next international break, but hopefully it isn't that bad.
I wanted to ask about Ibu Adams and the moment at the end, but actually not the moment, which we all saw, but the reaction to it, because at full time the staff went over to him, the teammates all went over to him, and then the whole stadium sort of embraced him and picked him up as well. How much does that sum up what you want, what you have built and what you want to continue building on here?
I think like one of our strengths, like that no one can see really, I think possibly, is that we try and build a culture. We try and build like staff and everyone behind the scenes and everyone trying to pull together for the team, and Ibu's one of them. He's a sacrificer. I think he's the only player we have who would have been brave enough to go for the header and chase after it, and it would have been fitting if he'd have scored today with that performance. It would have been amazing, but there's some sick part of my brain that makes it more memorable that he missed it. I know that sounds weird, but in years to come, I might see you in Benidorm in 10 years' time. I'm singing to Erasure. You walk in, you go, can you remember that game? Which game? Against Cardiff. Well, I can't. You know what my memory's like. That one where Ibu. magic moments. So his performance deserved a goal. He was excellent. I thought the booking early on was I wasn't agreeing with the decision, I think is a nice way to put it, but then I'm biased. And that sort of takes a little bit of his super strength away from him. But he done well, didn't get himself in any situations where he could have got a red card. So really pleased. It was nice to have Nat obviously coming back from he done well to play as long as he did. And I thought Caden and Jerry done their best as well to push the team back.